Have you ever watched a movie in English, listened to a podcast, or even understood what your teacher was saying, but when it came time for you to speak, the words just refused to come out? This is a very common experience for English learners, especially for people learning English as a second language. Many of us feel comfortable listening, sometimes even reading, but when it is our turn to open our mouths, we freeze. The strange thing is, our brain knows the words. We understand them when others use them, but somehow we cannot say them ourselves. Why is that? The answer is simple, but also deep. Listening and speaking are two different skills, and they do not grow equally. Just because you can understand something does not mean you can produce it. Think about music. You may enjoy listening to your favorite singer, and you can even understand the lyrics. But that does not mean you can sing the song as beautifully. The same happens with English. Your brain is trained to recognize the sound, the rhythm, and the meaning when others speak, but it has not been trained enough to produce those same things by yourself. Another reason is that speaking requires instant reaction. When you listen, you have time to think. You hear the sentence, and your brain connects it with meaning. But when you speak, you must create the sentence in real time, often in just 1 or 2 seconds. This makes your brain work much harder. You need to find the right word, remember the grammar, and pronounce it correctly all at once. If you do not practice this active skill, your brain will freeze, even though you know the answer inside. Fear is also a big problem. Many learners understand English but cannot speak because they are afraid of making mistakes. They worry their pronunciation is wrong, their grammar is bad, or other people will laugh at them. This fear builds a wall in the mind. The more you care about being perfect, the less confident you become, and your tongue refuses to move. It's like a bird with wings but afraid to fly. The truth is, no one speaks perfectly at the beginning. Even native speakers make mistakes. Children learn their first language by speaking broken sentences, not by waiting until they are perfect. If you want to speak, you must accept mistakes as part of learning. There is also a difference between passive knowledge and active knowledge. Passive knowledge is when you recognize a word when you hear it or see it. Active knowledge is when you can use that word naturally in a sentence without thinking too much. For example, you may understand the word opportunity when you read it, but when you want to say it in conversation, your brain suddenly goes blank. That is because the word only exists passively in your memory, not actively in your speaking system. The only way to make it active is to practice using it again and again until it comes out naturally. Another reason is the way many of us study English. In school, especially in Vietnam and other Asian countries, English is taught mainly through reading and grammar exercises. We spend years memorizing rules, writing essays, and answering multiple choice questions. We can pass exams, but when a foreigner asks, "How's your day?" we panic. Why? Because our education focuses on silent knowledge, not speaking practice. Speaking is like a muscle, and if you never train it, it stays weak, no matter how much theory you know. Also, listening practice is often easier to do than speaking practice. You can listen to English songs, watch movies, or join classes where the teacher talks. But speaking requires interaction. You need someone to talk to, or at least a way to practice by yourself. Many learners don't have this environment. They don't have friends who speak English, or they feel shy to talk. Without speaking practice, their listening improves, but their speaking stays behind. So what can we do to fix this problem? The answer is practice, but not just any practice. You need active speaking practice. For example, shadowing is a great method. This means you listen to a sentence and immediately repeat it out loud, imitating the pronunciation, the rhythm, and even the intonation. This trains your mouth to move faster and your brain to connect meaning with sound. Recording your voice is another powerful tool. When you record yourself and listen back, you can hear your mistakes and improve step by step. Another tip is to think in English. Many learners get stuck because they always translate from Vietnamese into English before speaking. This translation process takes time and makes your speech slow. Instead, practice forming simple thoughts directly in English. For example, instead of thinking, tôi đói, tôi muốn ăn cơm, and then translating, try to immediately think, I'm hungry. I want to eat. The more you train your brain to think directly in English, the faster your speaking becomes. Confidence also plays a huge role. You must let go of the fear of making mistakes. Remember, speaking is not about being perfect. It's about communicating. People will understand you even if your grammar is that 100% correct. The most important thing is to open your mouth and say something. Over time, your grammar and pronunciation will naturally improve. It's also important to start small. Don't pressure yourself to speak long, complex sentences. Begin with short daily expressions like, good morning, I'm fine, thank you, or see you later. Use these sentences every day until they become automatic. Then, slowly build longer sentences. Speaking English is like building a house. You must first lay small bricks before you can create the whole building. Another powerful technique is to use English in your daily life, even when you are alone. For example, talk to yourself in English. Describe what you are doing. I'm cooking rice. I'm washing the dishes. I'm walking to school. At first, it feels strange, but it is actually an effective way to train your speaking muscle. Slowly, you will get used to expressing your thoughts in English. The journey from understanding English to speaking it fluently takes time and effort, but it is possible for anyone. I have seen many learners start with silence, afraid to say even one word, but after months of consistent speaking practice, they became confident and natural. The key is not to wait until you are perfect. The key is to start speaking now, even with mistakes, and let improvement happen along the way. So the next time you understand English but cannot speak, don't feel discouraged. This is not a weakness. It is simply a sign that your passive skill is stronger than your active skill. With the right practice, patience, and courage, you can break the wall and let the words flow. Remember, you already have the knowledge inside you. All you need to do is unlock your voice. In the end, understanding without speaking is like having a treasure but never opening the box. You already own the gold, but you need to take it out and share it with the world. English is not only about listening or reading. It is about connection, communication, and expressing who you are. So don't stay silent. Speak, even if your voice shakes. Speak, even if you make mistakes. Speak because every word you say is a step toward freedom in this language. And one day, without even noticing, you will realize the words that used to get stuck inside your head are finally flowing out smoothly, naturally, and beautifully.